Why do people still deny climate change? If we take a look at the wide range of beliefs of the American people, it will be very apparent that there is a large disparity in stances on climate change. There are those who believe that it should be taken extremely seriously, that it is a big concern and things need to be done in order to take care of it. There are others who do not think global warming is even occurring, that the science behind it is not necessarily true, or that the issue shouldn't be worried too much about. This translates to politics when deciding what policies should be enacted. The differences in beliefs loosely correlates to the different political parties. You can usually group the believers of climate change into the Democratic Party, while you can group the non-believers into the Republican Party. The climate change views of the two political parties were not significantly different until the Kyoto Protocol negotiations of 1997, when policymakers began to look for solutions to global warming. Essentially, this is the time period when climate change was politicized. More recently, however, it has become an increasingly popular issue. As more and more is discovered about the effects and dangers of climate change, more people, the believers of science at least, realize how incredibly important the issue is, and they realize that something needs to be done soon, or else the problem will only get exponentially worse. Global climate change will affect people and the environment in many ways. Some of these impacts include stronger hurricanes, severe heat waves like spreading weeds, alterations of growing seasons for crops, and more. Additionally, global sea level has risen by about 8 inches since reliable record keeping began in 1880. It is projected to rise another 1 to 4 feet by 2100. This is the result of added water from melting land ice and the expansion of seawater as it warms. When you look at the stances taken on each side of the climate change issue, it is easy to apply the anti-intellectual ideas. Anti-intellectualism is demonstrated in this specific scenario by the disbelievers of science. According to a 2014 Pew Research Center study, only 61% of Americans believe that there is enough solid evidence to support climate change. This large group of people is choosing to deny the factual evidence of a theory. This demonstrates anti-intellectualism for a variety of reasons. Climate change denial is turning a blind eye to the facts that are presented in front of you. Regardless of how detailed, thorough, or straightforward the evidence is presented, these people have already made up their minds.
We're putting carbon dioxide in the air at a prodigious rate, and the world's getting warmer, and you can know this by looking at the neutrons in the ice. You can know this by looking at the pollen grains per cubic centimeter in the sediment of ponds. You can know this by looking carefully at the rings on trees during warm seasons, wet seasons, cold seasons, dry seasons. And you can work your way back and figure out that the Earth is getting warmer faster than it's ever gotten before.
These facts cannot change their stances. To relate this idea to a more current issue, a large way that this topic shows anti-intellectualism in politics is through Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton's take on this climate change issue. It has been said that Donald Trump does not accept the scientific evidence that climate change is real. Because of this, he wants to dismantle the Paris Agreement. However, Hillary Clinton stands on the complete opposite side. She calls climate change an urgent threat and therefore wants to uphold the Paris Agreement in order to reverse the effects of global warming. You can see how their minor difference in perspective has the potential to affect multiple different future actions, including agreements they choose to stand by. This affects millions of people's lives. The majority of American people do not want to believe in the existence of climate change and global warming. Therefore, when putting a vote in, it is probable that they will choose the candidate who mirrors their beliefs. As you can see, this has the potential to develop into a vicious cycle of electing ignorance, informing ignorance, and electing ignorance once again.
And the world's getting warmer because of human activity. That's a fact.